I used to think I was just slow. You know that feeling? You're in a class or watching a tutorial and everyone else seems to just get it. Meanwhile, you've reread the same paragraph 4 times and your brain is just TV static. For years, I bought into the idea that learning hard skills took a lifetime. You hear about the 10,000-hour rule and you think, great, I guess I'll master this skill when I'm 85. But then I looked around. I saw people mastering coding in 6 months, people learning languages in weeks, people getting promoted over me not because they worked harder, but because they learned faster. It turns out intelligence isn't the bottleneck. Your system is. Today, I'm going to show you how to throw out the old, slow way of studying. We are going to break down the exact framework, backed by neuroscience, that allows superlearners to absorb information at a speed that feels almost unfair. If you feel stuck, this is for you. Let's dive in. Here is the biggest lie we were told in school, that consuming information is the same thing as learning it. I call this the Netflix effect. You watch a 20-minute tutorial on how to use Photoshop, you nod along, you think, yeah, that makes sense. Your brain releases a little hit of dopamine because you feel productive. But then you close the video, open the software, and blank. You freeze. This is called the illusion of competence. Passive learning, reading, highlighting, watching is comfortable. It feels good. But your brain isn't actually building new neural pathways. It's just recognizing information, not storing it. If you want to learn fast, like really fast, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to stop studying and start training. And to do that, we need a new protocol. I call it the A.I.D system. Analysis, immersion, deconstruction. Step 1 is analysis, or simply put, what actually matters. Most of us try to learn a skill by starting at page 1 of the textbook and reading until the end. That is the slowest way to learn. There's a concept called the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule. It states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Think about the guitar. There are thousands of chords, but if you learn just 4 specific chords, you can play 80% of the pop songs on the radio. If you try to learn every chord, you'll quit in a month. If you focus on the magic 20%, you're playing songs by next weekend. So before you start learning anything, stop. Do your research. Ask yourself, what is the 20% of this skill that gives me 80% of the results? Learning Spanish? Don't learn random words, learn the 1,000 most common words used in any conversation. Learning Excel? Forget macros for a second, master VLOOKUP and pivot tables. Spend the first hour of your learning journey just mapping out what not to learn. It feels weird to skip things, I know, but we aren't trying to be encyclopedias, we're trying to be effective. Step 2 is immersion, the feedback loop. Okay, you know what to learn. Now, how do you actually make it stick? This is where most people fail. They avoid mistakes. They want to be perfect before they start. But think about how you learn to play a video game. You don't read the manual. You press start. You run forward. You fall in a pit. You die. You respawn. You jump over the pit. You make progress. This is a feedback loop. Action, mistake, correction, result. The faster you can cycle through this loop, the faster you learn. In school, the feedback loop is terrible. You study for weeks, take a test, and get a grade back 3 days later. That's too slow. Your brain has already forgotten why you made the mistake. You need to tighten the loop. You need instant feedback. If you're coding, run the code every 2 lines to see if it breaks. If you're learning to cook, taste the food while you're cooking, not just at the end. This brings us to a concept called desirable difficulty. If your practice feels easy, you aren't learning. You're just reviewing what you already know. You need to push your brain to the point where it struggles. That frustration you feel, that brain hurt, that is literally the feeling of your neurons connecting. Lean into that. Stop rereading your notes. That's passive. Instead, use active recall. Close the book. Force your brain to retrieve the information. It's harder, it's annoying, but it works 10 times faster. Step 3 is deconstruction.
All right, you've identified the 20%. You're practicing with active recall. Now, how do you lock it in forever? You have to teach it. There's a famous method called the Feynman technique, named after the physicist. Feynman believed you didn't understand a concept unless you could explain it to a 5-year-old. Here is the see one, do one, teach one method I use. See one, I watch the tutorial. Do one, I try to do it myself, messing up and fixing it. Teach one, I immediately try to explain what I just did to someone else. You don't need an audience, you just need to vocalize. Open your voice recorder or talk to your dog, it doesn't matter. The goal is to force the information out of your head. When you do this, you instantly expose the cracks in your knowledge. You'll be explaining a concept confidently and then suddenly freeze and go, wait, how does that actually connect? That moment of confusion is gold. Go back, fill that gap, and try again. There is one final piece to this puzzle, and honestly, it's the hardest one for me. You cannot cram endlessly. Neuroscience shows that learning doesn't happen when you're studying. It happens when you stop. When you sleep or when you enter a state of deep rest like yoga nidra or NSDR, your brain takes all that raw data you shoved into your short-term memory and compiles it into long-term storage. If you don't sleep, you don't learn. It's that simple. So stop the all-nighters. Your brain needs offline time to save the game. If you're grinding for 4 hours straight without a break, you are getting diminishing returns. Work intensely for 90 minutes, then step away. Do nothing. Listen, the world is moving fast. AI is moving fast. The ability to learn a new skill quickly is the ultimate superpower in the 21st century. It's not about being a genius. It's about having a better system. 1. Analyze. Find the 20% that matters. 2. Immerse. Create fast feedback loops and struggle on purpose. 3. Deconstruct. Teach it to truly own it. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just watch this video and scroll to the next one. Pick one thing you've been putting off learning because it felt too hard. Apply this framework for just 7 days. You will be shocked at how much you can absorb when you stop studying and start training. If you're ready to level up, hit that like button so I know to make more videos like this. And let me know in the comments, what skill are you tackling this month? I'll be down there reading them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.